Break the limits of your endurance. Listen. Breathe. Feel the weight of the air in your lungs, the pounding in your chest. This is not just life. This is your life. And you have tolerated too much. You have accepted weakness disguised as comfort, fear disguised as caution, failure disguised as safety. You've let the world tell you what's possible, but the world does not know the fire inside you. Because there is a moment when you stop negotiating with your limits, when you say no more. And that moment, right now, can rip apart everything you thought was impossible. Because you are not here to survive. You are here to break the limits of your endurance. Your body will beg you to stop. Your mind will lie to you about your limits. But you must understand, limits are not walls. They are invitations. Invitations to rise, to suffer, to expand. The greatest mistake people make is believing endurance is only physical. It is not. Endurance is spiritual. It is mental. It is emotional. It is the decision to face the pain you have avoided. The decision to show up, bleeding, exhausted, and unwilling to surrender. Because the truth is this: every time you run from pain, you choose weakness. Every time you run toward it, you choose power. That is the price. The world will not give you what you want. It will test you. It will hammer you. It will tear the flesh from your dreams and spit them back in your face. But if you dare to stay standing, to lean into the wind, to keep moving when everything screams to stop, you will become unrecognizable. Not because the world changes, but because you do. So decide now. Will you let discomfort break you, or will you break through discomfort? The choice seems simple, but it is the hardest choice you will ever make, because you will have to do what most people will never do. Learn to love the struggle, to crave it, to eat pain for breakfast, because the only way to become limitless is to dance with the things that destroy lesser souls. You want success? Then you must bury the coward inside you. You want wealth? Then you must sacrifice ease. You want respect? Then you must master yourself. Because the secret no one wants to hear is that greatness is boring. It is routine. It is 1,000 quiet choices to endure what others won't. Discipline. When you don't feel like it, focus. When everything distracts you, believe. When everyone doubts you, endurance is forged in these moments, not in the spotlight, not in applause, but in the silent war you wage with yourself. And the enemy is always the same: your excuses, your self-pity, your weakness. This enemy lives inside you. You cannot reason with it. You cannot compromise with it. You must annihilate it, because if you do not, it will ruin you. It will whisper that you have done enough, that you deserve rest, that you should quit. It will use your exhaustion as proof you should stop. But hear me, exhaustion is not the enemy. It is the signal. It says you are close. It says most people quit here. It says break this limit, and you will never be the same. So when you feel it, you thank it, and you keep going. Because endurance is not just how long you can last. It is how much you can suffer without breaking. How much you can carry without complaining. How much you can sacrifice without being recognized. That is the currency of greatness. That is the cost of transformation. Think of those you admire. Edison working in the lab until he collapsed from exhaustion, failing thousands of times without surrender. Lincoln, beaten by depression, by loss, by defeat, still rising to lead a divided nation. Ford, mocked for dreaming of an affordable car for every family, bankrupt twice before revolutionizing industry. Disney, told he lacked imagination, fired, betrayed, bankrupt, yet building an empire of dreams. They did not avoid pain. They embraced it. They did not run from their limits. They destroyed them. They understood what you must understand now. Endurance is the ultimate superpower, because it outlasts talent. It outlasts luck. It outlasts rejection. It is the decision to stand when you cannot stand, to fight when you have nothing left, to believe when belief itself seems foolish. And in that moment, you become dangerous, because the world cannot break a person who refuses to stop. The world cannot defeat the one who will crawl, bleed and scream, but will not quit. That is what you must become. You must decide right now, who will you be when it gets hard? Who will you be when you want to quit? Who will you be? Will you be when everything fails? Will you be the person who stops, or the person who breaks the limits of your endurance? The choice is not made once. It is made daily, hourly. Every moment you face resistance, you choose comfort or growth, fear or courage, excuses or results. No one will make that choice for you. No one will save you. No one will carry you to greatness. You will crawl there yourself, on bloodied knees if you have to, because no one is coming, and that is your power. You don't need them. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You need will. You need obsession. You need unrelenting commitment. When others rest, you work. When others complain, you plan. When others quit, you continue. Because the greatest advantage you will ever have is simply refusing to stop. Most people never understand this. They wait for motivation. They want it to feel good, but it won't. It will hurt. It will test every belief you have about yourself, and that is the point. Because endurance is not just about lasting longer. It is about becoming more. It is about forging a mind that refuses to be broken, a spirit that will not surrender, a body that obeys your command, no matter the pain. Do you think greatness is easy? Do you think wealth is comfortable? Do you think legacy is for the lazy? Look around you. Look at the world. Most will never get there, not because they can't, but because they won't. They will not pay the price. They will not sacrifice what you will. They will stop at the first sign of pain. But you will go further. You will hurt more. You will stay longer. You will endure because you have decided. Your destiny will not be dictated by fear. Your future will not be limited by weakness. You will suffer if you must. You will sacrifice if you must. You will bleed if you must. But you will not stop, because you are not here to live a life of quiet desperation. You are here to carve your name into history, to take your vision and make it real, to turn your pain into power, your struggle into strength, your limits into launch pads. Listen to me. You are capable of more. You know it. You feel it. You have always felt it. That voice inside you that says you are meant for more. Stop silencing it. Stop drowning it with comfort, distraction, and excuses. Answer it. Honor it. Because that voice is your true self. It is the part of you that remembers who you really are, not who the world told you to be, not who you became to fit in, but the relentless, unbreakable, infinite force of will that lives within you. Do not betray it. Do not abandon it. Feed it. Fuel it. Set it free. And when the world pushes you to your knees, you smile, because you know that is where legends are made. When you rise, shaking, bloodied, defiant, that is the moment you become unstoppable. That is the moment you break the limits of your endurance. And there is no going back, because once you taste that power, you can never forget it. You can never unlearn it. You can never go back to who you were. So decide, right now, no more limits, no more excuses, no more weakness. You will go further. You will suffer longer. You will outlast them all, because you are not average. You are not common. You are not ordinary. You are endurance incarnate. You are will made flesh. You are the destroyer of limits. Now prove it. Prove it when your legs tremble and refuse to move. Prove it when your mind screams to quit. Prove it when no one is watching, no one is cheering, no one is there to pull you up. Because that is when it counts. Not in the easy hours, not in the moments of inspiration, but in the dark, silent trenches of your private war. That's where champions are born, where kings are crowned, where legacies are forged. There is no shortcut through that pain. There is no hack for that suffering. There is only you and your choice to keep going. Most people will never understand the cost. They will look at your success and call you lucky. They will see your discipline and call it obsession. They will see your endurance and call it insanity. Let them, because they will never see the nights you cried in frustration but kept working. They will never feel the bone-deep exhaustion that you turned into fuel. They will never know the taste of blood in your mouth as you smiled through the pain. They will never understand the sacrifices that you made willingly, because they cannot comprehend what you are willing to do for your vision. They do not know what it means to bet everything on yourself, to stand alone against the storm, to endure what would break lesser people. But you do, and that is your advantage. When others fold, you persist. When others flee, you advance. When others surrender, you conquer. Because you are not here to live a life of quiet regret. You are here to drain yourself of every last drop of potential. You are here to test yourself against the limits of possibility, to stare into the abyss of failure and laugh, to spit in the face of fear, to prove that endurance is not just surviving the pain but thriving in it, learning from it, transcending it, because every limit you break becomes the foundation of your power. Every wall you climb becomes your new floor. Every defeat you refuse to accept becomes a lesson, a weapon, a scar that hardens your resolve. So stop chasing easy. Stop wishing it were simpler. Demand more of yourself. Demand the impossible, and then demand that you make it real. Do not pray for fewer obstacles. Pray for stronger shoulders. Do not wish for an easier life. Wish to become a greater force, because life will never be gentle. It will always test the strength of your convictions. It will always search for your breaking point. Show it you have none. Show it you will not yield. Show it you will go further than it thought possible, because you understand something most people never learn. Pain is the path. Suffering is the teacher. Discomfort is the forge, and you were made to endure. Look at the oak tree. Roots deep in the earth, unbending in the storm. Look at the mountain, unmoved by wind and time. Look at the river that carves through stone, not with force but with patience. Endurance is nature's law, and you are nature incarnate. You are not fragile. You are not weak. You are not meant to break at the first sign of resistance. You were born to resist, to endure, to overcome. And in that overcoming you become something more. You become the inspiration, the example, the proof that it is possible, that it can be done, that there is another way to live, not just to exist but to conquer, to master yourself so completely that the world cannot touch you, so that no setback can end you, no failure can define you, no pain can stop you, because you have chosen this. You have chosen the hard road, the lonely road, the road that few will ever dare to walk, and in choosing it you have set yourself apart. You have become rare. You have become powerful, because you have become unbreakable, not because you don't feel pain, but because you have learned to welcome it, to study it, to learn from it, to grow stronger through it. You have become the type of person who can no longer be defeated, not because you always win, but because you never quit, because quitting is death, and you are life, you are movement, you are progress, you are the unstoppable force that will break through any obstacle, because you know this truth. Limits are lies. They are the chains you place on yourself, the bars you accept because they feel safe, but you do not want safety. You want freedom, and there is no freedom without sacrifice, no greatness without suffering, no transformation without endurance. So remember this: every moment you feel like stopping is an opportunity, an invitation to go further, to prove to yourself that you are exactly who you say you are, not in words, but in action, not in dreams, but in reality. So go further. When your legs give out, crawl. When your voice fails, whisper. When your body breaks, let your spirit carry you, because you were not born to surrender. You were born to endure, to break the limits of what is possible, to show the world that you will not stop, that you cannot stop, that you refuse to stop, because you know what waits on the other side of endurance. Not comfort, not ease, but mastery, legacy, immortality. Because when you are gone, the world will remember. It will speak your name, not because you lived, but because you refused to die before your mission was complete, because you left nothing on the table, because you emptied yourself in pursuit of something greater. That is the only way to live. That is the only way to honor the gift of life, not to preserve it, but to spend it, to burn it like fuel for your dreams, to give it all away in the service of something bigger. So when you feel that pain, when the world says stop, when your mind says quit, you laugh, you smile, you thank the pain for the invitation, and you go further, because you are not done. You are never done, until your heart stops, until the last breath leaves your body. You endure, you fight, you conquer, because you are limitless, you are relentless, you are the embodiment of endurance itself. Now prove it. Prove it when everything in you says enough. Prove it when your vision blurs and your breath is ragged. Prove it when you stand at the edge of your breaking point and choose to lean forward. Because the truth, The uncomfortable, brutal truth is that no one will do it for you. No one will carry your burden. No one will suffer your pain. No one will endure your trials. They're yours alone, your cross to bear, your path to walk. And that is not a curse. It is the gift, because it means the victory is yours too. The growth is yours. The glory is yours. The glory is yours. No one can steal what you build with your blood and sweat. No one can claim what you earn through your suffering. That is your kingdom. That is your legacy. It is not handed to you. It is forged. Forged in the furnace of your pain. In the relentless pressure of your discipline. In the quiet nights of doubt you endured. In the mornings you rose when no one else did. That is the currency you pay. That is the price of greatness. People love the idea of triumph. They love the highlight reels, the applause, the rewards. But they turn away from the work. They flinch from the sacrifice. They fear the pain. They want shortcuts. They want hacks. They want it cheap. But greatness is never cheap. It is always expensive. It demands everything. Your time, your comfort, your certainty, your tears, your blood. It is all on the table. You don't get to hold anything back. And the moment you do, the moment you negotiate with your limits, you lose, because those limits are waiting, patient, merciless. They want you to fold. They want you to flinch. They want you to say enough. But you don't say enough. You don't say stop. You don't accept it, because you understand that this is the only way to become who you're meant to be, the only way to unlock the power you feel inside. That potential you've always felt burning in your chest, that restless hunger that makes you uncomfortable with mediocrity, that is not a curse. That is the truth. That is your soul refusing to be caged. It is your spirit demanding its destiny. So why do you keep feeding it scraps? Why do you keep denying it the feast it craves? Stop betraying yourself. Stop lying to yourself. You know you can do more. You know you can go further. You know you can endure more than you think. You have always known. You have always felt it. But feeling it is not enough. You must prove it. Through action, through repetition, through relentless pursuit, through sacrifice, through failure, through resurrection, again and again and again, until you are so unbreakable, so immovable, so certain of who you are that the world itself bends around you. That is mastery, not control over others, but control over yourself, over your mind, over your body, over your will, because there will come a day when you face your greatest test, not a competition, not a rival, but the voice in your own head, the voice that says you've done enough, you can stop now, no one would blame you, you've gone too far. That voice is the real enemy, that voice is the limit, and you have to kill it, not reason with it, not negotiate. You kill it, with action, with movement, with another rep, another mile, another hour of focus, another sacrifice. No one sees, because you are not here to do what is easy. You are here to do what is necessary, and necessary is never easy. It is brutal, it is unforgiving, it demands everything, but it gives you everything in return. It gives you truth, it gives you power, it gives you freedom, it gives you the unshakable knowledge that you are exactly who you say you are, that you have nothing to prove to anyone, because you have already proven it to yourself. That is the only validation that matters, not applause, not followers, not trophies, but that quiet moment when you look in the mirror and see no lies, no regret, no shame, only certainty, that you gave it all, that you refused to break, that you went further than you thought possible, and in doing so, you became something new, something rare, something unstoppable. So let the world mock you, let them doubt you, let them question your obsession, your commitment, your sacrifice. Let them, because you know what they don't. You know what you're building, what you're becoming. You know that every moment of pain is a brick in the foundation of your future, that every sacrifice is an investment in your destiny, that every limit you break becomes the proof that you can break the next one, and the next, and the next, until there are no limits left, until you are the living embodiment of endurance itself. So do it, prove it, to yourself, for yourself, because no one else can, no one else will, no one else should. This is your path, your test, your glory. Now go, and break the limits of your endurance. Break them with your bare hands if you must. Rip them apart with your will. Smash them with your persistence, because these limits were never real. They were stories you told yourself, stories you inherited from others, stories written by fear, comfort, doubt. But you are the author now, and you get to decide what's true. You get to write the ending. So write one worth reading, one that people will tell in hushed voices, one that will live long after your bones are dust, because that is legacy, not money, not fame, but the story you leave behind, the example you set, the proof you offer that it can be done, that it must be done, that the human spirit is bigger than any obstacle, that the will is stronger than the world, that limits are meant to be broken, because you are not here for yourself alone. You are here for every person who needs permission to try, for every soul who thinks they can't, for every dreamer who is told to settle. You are here to show them it can be done, not by talking about it, not by posting about it, but by living it, by suffering for it, by bleeding for it, by enduring for it. That is the price of leadership. That is the price of greatness. You must go first. You must go further. You must be willing to break so that others learn they don't have to. This is the burden you choose, and it is the greatest gift you will ever give, because when they see you refuse to quit, they will question their own excuses. When they see you get up one more time, they will wonder if they can too. When they see you transform your pain into power, they will realize theirs can be fuel. This is how revolutions begin, not in speeches, not in slogans, but in single stubborn souls who refuse to yield, who choose to endure, who choose to break their limits, and in doing so, break the limits of everyone watching. That is how you change the world. Not all at once, but one choice at a time, one rep, one step, one breath, one refusal to quit, until you have gone so far beyond what you thought was possible, that you no longer recognize yourself, because you will have become something new. Not just a person, but a force, a standard, a symbol of what is possible when a human being decides they will not be broken. So don't you dare stop. Don't you dare listen to that voice begging for mercy. Don't you dare let comfort seduce you. You are better than that. You are stronger than that. You are made for more than that. You know it. Feel it in your bones. That restless hunger, that anger at mediocrity, that refusal to accept a life less than what you can imagine. That is your soul speaking. Listen to it. Honor it. Feed it. And when the world tells you to slow down, speed up. When it tells you to settle, demand more. When it tells you to quit, clench your fists and roar no, because you will not be tamed. You will not be caged. You will not be limited. You will burn every bridge to your old self. Salt the earth behind you, so there is no going back. No retreat, only forward, only through, because you know there is no other way, no other path, no other option. You endure, you expand, you evolve, you become. That is the only promise worth making to yourself, that you will never ever stop, no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, no matter how much it hurts, because you know on the other side of that pain is freedom. On the other side of that sacrifice is power. On the other side of that limit is the life you were meant to live. Not a life of survival, a life of conquest, a life of mastery, a life that stands as proof that endurance is not suffering for its own sake, but the alchemy that turns struggle into greatness. So rise again and again and again until your knees are raw, your hands are blistered, your lungs are fire, and your heart is a drumbeat of refusal. Refusal to stop, refusal to quit, refusal to die before you have given it everything. Because that is what is required. That is what is asked of you. That is what you owe yourself. Nothing less, nothing easy, everything. So give it, all of it. And when there is nothing left to give, give more. Because you can, because you must, because that is how you break the limits of your endurance. Not once, but forever, until there are no limits left. Only you, standing, breathing, unbowed, unbroken, unstoppable, because you chose it, because you earned it, because you are it. Now go and be it. Be it in every waking moment. Be it in the way you speak, the way you act, the way you think. Let it seep into your bones until there is no separation between you and the will to continue. Become the embodiment of resolve, so fierce it terrifies your fears, because you know they will always be there, waiting. Fear does not vanish. It adapts. It evolves. It becomes clever, subtle, insidious. It will try to dress itself in reason. It will say you've earned a break. It's not worth it. You're being unreasonable. That dream is too big. That pain is too much. And you will listen. You will hear it whisper in the dark, but you will not obey, because you know the difference between fear and truth. Truth is simple. It is unflinching. It does not comfort you. It does not coddle you. It says you can go further. You can endure more. You are not finished. It dares you to prove it. That is the voice you follow. The quiet certainty inside you that knows what you're capable of, what you could become if you stop lying, stop hiding, stop making excuses, because the greatest tragedy is not failure. It is potential wasted. It is dreams deferred. It is the haunting regret of knowing you could have been more, if only you had endured. So let that haunt you now, while you're alive, while you still have time, while you can still choose to change, while you can still decide to suffer on purpose, because the pain you choose is the pain that transforms you. The pain you avoid is the pain that destroys you. So choose wisely. Choose the hard path, the honest path, the path that leaves you stripped bare, with nothing to hide behind, because that is where you meet yourself, the real you, not the version sculpted by fear or society or expectation, but the raw, untamed spirit that remembers what you came here to do, to build, to fight, to create, to become, to conquer. Not others, but yourself, because you are the only enemy that matters, the only one who can truly stop you. If you can beat that voice, you can beat anything. If you can endure your own darkness, no external darkness can consume you. That is the truth. That is the gift. That is the secret the world will never teach you, because the world profits from your weakness. It thrives on your compliance. It wants you comfortable, docile, predictable, afraid, because then you are easy to control, easy to sell to, easy to forget. But you refuse. You refuse to be small. You refuse to be manageable. You refuse to be forgotten, because you know you were made for more. So act like it, live like it, think like it, train like it, endure like it. And when the time comes to choose, choose the harder thing every time, because that is the path to freedom, to power, to becoming the kind of person who can look back one day at the wreckage of everything that tried to stop them and smile, not in arrogance, but in gratitude. Gratitude for the pain that taught you, for the failures that refined you, for the limits that challenged you, for the suffering that purified you, because without them you would have stayed small, comfortable, mediocre. You would have died with your dreams still inside you, but not you, not now. Now you know, now you see, that there is no salvation in safety, no glory in comfort, no greatness in surrender. There is only the path, the grind, the sacrifice, the long nights, the early mornings, the discipline. When motivation is gone, the hunger when others are full, the focus when others are distracted, the refusal to compromise, the courage to look at pain and say, I will go further, I will outlast you, I will break you before you break me. That is what it means to break the limits of your endurance. Not once, not twice, but for a lifetime. A promise renewed every day. A vow made in blood and sweat and tears. A commitment so deep it becomes who you are. So that even when you want to quit, you can't, because you no longer remember how. Because quitting is not in your nature anymore. You have replaced it with something else. With hunger, with will, with unshakable certainty that you will find a way, no matter what, no matter how long it takes, no matter how much it hurts, because you know this, the pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret is forever. And you choose discipline, you choose sacrifice, you choose to pay now, so you can live free later. So do it, today, now, while you can, before the chance is gone. because there will come a day when it is too late, when there are no more tomorrows, no more chances, no more time. And on that day you will know, you will feel it in your bones, that you either gave it everything or you didn't, that you either lived as a warrior or died as a coward, that you either broke your limits or let them break you. There is no middle ground, no compromise, no second life. So choose, now, forever. Choose to endure, choose to fight, choose to go further, choose to break the limits of your endurance and become exactly who you were always meant to be.